Hey, I'm back. Am I back consistently? I don't know yet, but I'm back right now, and I'm gonna tell y'all what led me to get on anxiety medication and a mood stabilizer right now. But at first, I was on an antidepressant. I tried two. One of them was cool. That other one, let me tell you about that one. So first, I got on a mood stabilizer. People keep asking me. I got on these medications because you know on a paper where they say fill out. I'm gonna see if I can put it up here. But y'all know in the paper they like fill out how you feeling and stuff like that. I used to just be lying. I'm okay, I'm fine. Y'all not gonna lock me up and put me in a crazy house. I just started telling the truth because y'all know I had a baby and I was just speaking like super irritated, super quick, and I was like, I need to be less irritated so I can deal and play with my baby and not just be irritated with him all the time. Okay? To be a better mother at the end of the day. So I was like, let me go get some help. So I was on a paper, they was asking me how much sleep am I getting, how happy am I feeling, how much am I eating, how I feel joy, does things bring me joy and stuff like that, and I filled it out. Sleep, eating, terrible, okay? Horrible. Things bring me joy, not really, unless I say that I'm on a manic and I'm on a high. And when I'm manic, I have a high and I have a low. And that low be taking me out, okay? And then this feels like, do you want to off yourself and stuff like that? And I never wanted to off myself, but I know when I was dealing with postpartum, I wanted to run away. I didn't want to do nothing, but I just wanted to get up in the middle of the night and run away. And I had that feeling the whole time, right? But I didn't tell people I was dealing with postpartum. I kept my business to myself, but I told the doctor stuff. So I filled out the paper and she's like, oh, these numbers is high. Mind you, they supposed to be 0, 0, 0, 0. Baby, I think I had like a 30 something or maybe a 20 something. I'm not sure. But my number is high. And so she was like, she was telling me stuff that's anxiety that I didn't know was anxiety. My jaw also had a lot of childhood trauma. Okay, a whole bunch. But she was telling me stuff that's anxiety. I didn't know that was anxiety. I thought it was regular. Like, I used to ask people like, oh, do you have thoughts in your head or are you thinking? And they'd be like, no. And I'd be like, you're lying. Everybody has a thought in their head. Everybody's thinking. Everybody's mind's just constantly turning. I was like, are you making up scenarios in your head to go to bed or just daydreaming throughout the day and da-da-da? They said no. And I was like, yes, y'all are. Don't lie to me. Why'd y'all lie to me? Baby, as soon as I took that hydroxyzine for anxiety and that Lexapro for depression, baby, that first night I thought I was dreaming. I thought it was like fake and I'm making this up in my head because my head was silent on 0. But then the day after that and stuff, I started getting like little thoughts and things like that. Like I guess what normal people be having. But yeah, so when I had anxiety that I didn't know it was anxiety or whatever, I will overthink. Like I have my own head, then I have a separate, and like you know in your head you have a mind, and then I will have a separate mind, and then I have a mind above that. I had like 3 thoughts. I had like 3 thoughts, 3 minds in my own head, right? So I'm like, oh, I'm not thinking about it, but on that third thought, that second bubble up here, I'm actually thinking about it, right? So, and like I would daydream, like I'll be driving a car and I'll be like, oh, I can just drive off the bridge. Now I'm a normal person, like, okay, I drive on the bridge. It was like almost every time I would drive, like, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if that happened? And like it's visions in my head, and then I would go off on that vision, and then the vision will stop mid-vision, and then I'll have another daydream, and then stop mid-daydream. I can never finish out a daydream thought. And it'll be stuff like that, like I'll crash into this car. What would happen if you die? What would happen if your mom died? What happens if your baby died? And then I'll think visions in my head of what would happen next after I die. What would happen next after the baby dies? What would happen next after my mom dies? What happens next if my friend dies? How people will carry on and stuff. I'm literally living out other people, my life, but from other people's perspectives in my head. You're not supposed to do that. Who knew? Who knew you were supposed to do that? And then like I always had the world ending type thing. Like always, I don't know how to say it, but I always had visions like not the world like literally ending, but every thought it was like it was a bad ending. It would be never nothing happy. Sometimes my thoughts in my head, my little daydreams or whatever, they be happy thoughts, but most times it's 9 out of 10. What's the worst scenario that can happen? That's what's going on in my head. What's the worst scenario can happen? How sad can you be? How sad can somebody else be? And I've been doing that for like since I was young, so I'm thinking that's just normal. It's not. You're not supposed to be daydreaming about the end of the world or the end of something happening. You're not even supposed to be daydreaming at all. So yeah, that's why I'm on anxiety medications, and it does help. So I'll be taking, first I started taking off hydroxyzine 25 milligrams, and I was on Lexapro 20 milligrams, right? And like I said, that first day I took it, I thought it was how you said, I don't know, but when you think it's something happened, but it's not really happening, you just think it's happened. That's what I was thinking, because like my head was super duper quiet. and I was at work, and I'm working, and I'm like, dang, did I even think today? I'm like, I just kept working. I'm like, I don't know if I'm thinking or not. I can't finish out a daydream. I'm actually just doing my work and paying attention and stuff like that. So I was like, oh no, this is fake. I'm making this up in my head. I'm delusional. Because my job, I say I'm delusional all the time, but I really am delusional. So I'm like, I'm just making this up. This is my head is delusional, da da da. And as days kept going on, as I was taking Lexapro and stuff like that, no, baby. Like I was having more thought than I was the first day, but it was also just a little. Like I would daydream about something, but I can't finish the daydream. But not in a bad way. It was like in a good way. And I'm thinking about things, and it doesn't feel like every time I would think something, I wasn't thinking the worst case scenario. It'd be like kind of happy thoughts, I guess, but it wasn't the worst case scenario. But what I gotta say, that hydroxyzine for me, baby, it will knock me out in less than 30 minutes, especially. Sorry, it will knock me out in less than 30 minutes, especially if I'm trying to put myself to sleep. Oh, it will knock me out in like 30 minutes, right? And then, but I will always wake up in the middle of the night. Even though I will take it late, I will always wake up in the middle of the night. So I was trying to get used to taking it at one time, like at a certain time. That way when I do wake up, it's not in the middle of the night, but it's like close to where I'm finna get ready for work. Because if I would take it too early, I'm waking up in the middle of the night, and I would just wake up, look around, and go back to sleep. And I didn't want to do that. And at first, like, maybe it's because I got a baby, he be making noise. No, maybe it's that hydroxyzine 25 milligrams. I would wake up middle of the night, look around, go back to sleep. I got tired of doing that. And then in the morning, I'm waking up, I'm like, I wasn't really tired, but I was like, I woke up and I rather stay asleep. But that Lexapro, when I was taking it, it made me feel nauseous. I stayed yawning. I did feel nauseous, especially after I yawned. And when I did yawn, it's like my body would tense up and it was shaking, tremor, and like whatever position that I'm yawning in. I was like, I hated that. But the good thing about it is, since I have a poor appetite, it didn't make my stomach feel full. Like I would drink or eat something, and it's like it's stopping here, and then everything below here was numb. I couldn't feel it. I couldn't feel it, baby. And that right there is a plus for me, because I always, like, not always, but since I left high school, I had a poor eating appetite, baby. I would just eat little pieces here, like eating like a bird. Eating like a bird, which is crazy, because before high school, like high school and before that, I always used to eat like a grown man, baby. I would have 5 waffles on my plate, about 10 pieces of bacon. I would eat that with like 4 eggs, and then I'm gonna give me some seconds, okay? And then after high school, I was just nitpicking, eating like a bird. I don't know what happened. So I was really happy about that, because I like to eat. I'm a big girl. I like to eat. Well, I'm little, but I'm big in heart, and I like to eat. So I get to eat as much as I want. I really didn't get to feel full. But one thing about it, when you were hungry, baby, you were hungry. It felt like the end of the world, for real. Like your stomach was touching your back, and you just gotta eat. You just gotta eat. You gotta snack. You gotta eat. You gotta snack, because that hungry feeling is like starving feeling. So it made me snack more, it made me eat more. Plus I would, if I took the medicine dry, just medicine and water, or medicine, whatever I'm taking it with, that's when I'll be yawning and feeling nauseous and shaking and trembling and stuff like that. But when I took it with like a actually good meal, actually food meal, I wouldn't be nauseous, I wouldn't be shaking and trembling, and I wouldn't be yawning. Well, I kind of so with the yawn or whatever, right? So I took that for about 3 weeks and some days, but literally like on my last day of taking it, I had like a week left of pills, and I took it one day, and one day I got like really sad. Like I'm at work, I couldn't tell you why I was sad. I was just really sad. Like my manic low just came in for a couple hours. I had to step outside to get some sun. I was finna start crying. Mind you, I couldn't even think of why I was crying. I was upset. And so I told my doctor, I was like, babe, I don't want to take this no more. She's like, oh, no. I said, babe, I don't want to take this no more. Don't give it to me. So we had switched to another antidepressant, and it was called something, started with an S, but I think it's called like something with an L. Like the generic brand name starts with an S, but like what people call it starts with an L. Like, you know how Lexapro, the real name for Lexapro is Exelapram, but people call it Lexapro. Oh, Losartan. That's what it was. It was Losartan, but you call it like Cesarizine or whatever, right? I took Losartan for one day. I work in a dental office, right? So I got to ask patients, oh, how's your day? What's hurting? Da da da. Actual normal things like that, right? I took it one day. I went to work after I took that medicine, baby, and when I was asking the questions and they was answering, I was pissed off, because I was like, I was literally thinking about punching my patients in the face, because I didn't want you to talk no more. I was irritated that they was talking, telling me about their day, telling me what hurt, this and that. I wanted to get in the room and get out. One day, I was literally off. The day that I took it, It only lasted for like 24 hours, baby. But that day that I took it, I was so irritated, so annoyed. Like I feel like if I kept taking that medicine, I was gonna be locked up in jail or in the crazy house. I immediately called her, hey sister, get me off of this because I'm about to go to jail because I'm finna punch somebody in the face because they keep talking. Get off of that. So she's like, let me get you a mood stabilizer. And that's when I was taking a mood stabilizer. And I was like, in a mood stabilizer, you have to take it every 10 to 12 hours, okay? It started with O. I don't know how to pronounce it, excarbazine or something like that. But it started with O. You gotta take it every 10 to 12 hours. So the first day I took it, but I didn't take the second dose. So when I took it, I didn't take the second dose, and that 10 to 12 hour mark hit, and I went past it without taking the second dose. My head was screaming. It was on fire. I had a major headache. I was like, oh no, I'm never taking this again. So I tried it again. I said, maybe let me take this second dose to make my head stop hurting. And it was still giving me headaches. So I just stopped taking it. And then for like a whole month, I was just raw dogging life, no meds. My son had messed up my hydroxyzine, so I wasn't taking that. So I was just raw dogging life. Mind you, I'm also on a vitamin D, because my vitamin D it was like an 8, and then it went up to 12. And she's like, girl, that's not good. It's supposed to be in like 50s and something. So I stopped taking my vitamin D, and I stopped taking my iron pill because I gotta take iron pills or whatever, right? So no iron pills, no vitamin D, no hydroxyzine for my imaginations, anxiety, and no Lexapro or Losartan for my depression. Baby, I was on a high, but I really think I was on that high because that Lexapro, which I really want to go back to, because that Lexapro, baby, when I was taking it that day, I decided to stop taking it. Actually, because when I told y'all that it made me sad that one day, after that, I was super happy. I stay in Pleasant Grove, baby. I was so happy. I was so energized. It was a Friday, too. I got off work early. Sun was out. I was so happy. I was like, baby, I could walk from Pleasant Grove to South Dallas back to Pleasant Grove. That's how much energy I had in my body. I was on top of the world. You couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't make me upset. You couldn't do nothing. And I was just murder mouth, talking. I felt really, really good. I felt really, really good. The whole time is the Lexapro I just had one bad day and I said, fuck it. Because one thing about me, baby, if I'm going to take some pills like these, you got one day, a whole 24 hours to wow me. If not, next. And people are like, yeah, give it a... You got 24 hours to wow me, or I'm on to something new. I don't play all that. You got to wait a month for it to kick in. Because she was like, let's go kick in with the month. But that Lexapro kicked in within 24 hours. I thought I was going crazy. But anyways, like the mood stabilizer I was on, the one that started with O. Yeah. Once I started taking it, because after I went back to the doctor, I told her I've been raw dogging life. She actually gave me a higher dose of hydroxyzine because like the 25 milligram, baby, keep waking me up. Give me something stronger. So I got a 50 milligram, and I don't wake up as middle of the night. Actually, that amount of 50 milligram, I need to take it at a reasonable time, or I will be sleepy throughout the day. Like when it be time for me to wake up for work, I'll be like, ugh, I'm dreading it. But whatever to keep me not thinking and whatever sleeping me at night, I'll just have to deal with the consequences of that, okay? I'm not switching off of that. And then the hydroxyzine, it gives you real bad mouth. I mean, it gives you real bad dry mouth. And I was telling my people about, they was about the dry mouth. They're like, oh, you should switch to something else. No, I'm going to take it. I'm going to have dry mouth. I'm just drink water, and they said get some sugar-free gum and it'll help or whatever. I'm just do that I'm just do that because I'm not getting out. But anyways, the mood stabilizer. So when I talked to my doctor, she was like, just take it to see how it feels. So I've been taking it for about a month now, and I haven't had no manic episode. I haven't been real low, and I haven't had a super high. And what I can say right now is I do miss my manic super high highs. I miss them bad. I was spending money. I was going out. I was hanging with friends. I was rearranging my room. I was cleaning up. I missed the super high highs. Actually, when I was on Lexapro, and that last day it felt like a super high, but it lasted for like a whole month. And I'm okay with that. But yeah, that's what it is. I've been on mood stabilizer. I've been on Lexapro. That was the reasons why I'm actually supposed to go see a psychiatrist. But the thing is, they set me up on an appointment with a psychiatrist, but she wanted to be on FaceTime on the phone. I don't want to see nobody on the phone. I want to see somebody in person. Y'all went to school to get a degree. That way, that means when you got your degree, baby, you supposed to have it in office. Because in office, I feel like they can look at me and hear me talk, and they should be able to know what's going on by looking at me and from what I'm saying. Because over the phone, over FaceTime, baby, I can tell you whatever. I can tell you whatever. I want to be in office. So I'm looking for one that's in office. And I haven't found one yet. So I'm going to have to settle for a little Zoom call, which I don't want to do. But I do need to figure out what's wrong with me, because I feel like it's either some type of bipolar or schizophrenic. But, like, I'm not saying, like, whatever mental illness I have, it's not that bad to get me locked up in jail. But I can't say I did go get help, because I felt like I was a ticking time bomb. And in a minute, I'm finna go off and I'm gonna be locked up in a crazy house. I'm gonna do something really, really bad to somebody. I'm gonna be in jail. That's the only reason why I got myself some help in that, so I can have patience to be a better son to my mom. And I feel like the time's just ticking. Time is just ticking, because I was just so irritated with everything. But yeah, that's why I got on my mood stabilizers, my antidepressants, and my hydroxyzine. Oh, and what I also want to say is, like, when they did my lab work, she also, that's why I was like, I'm taking vitamin D and iron, because she did my lab work and she was like, oh, these are low, baby, we got to get these up. And I also do feel like getting my vitamins up, because when I was consistent with Lexapro, hydroxyzine, iron, and vitamin D, baby, I was on the time of my life. And now that I'm not being as consistent with it, because I don't take my iron up more and I don't take the vitamin D anymore. And I feel like I need to start, because when I was consistent with it and I was taking all 4 of those pills, I did feel like a better person. But since I changed pills, I'm not consistent. I was like, So I do need to start back taking my vitamin D and my iron, as long with my hydroxyzine and mood stabilizers or whatever pills I get in the future, because I feel like what's wrong inside, like with your vitamins and blood levels and all that stuff, that's gonna help with your mental. I could be crazy, but it's working for me. So yeah, that's why I'm on that. Oh, and also now, like, I'm very trying to get into my Bible more. So a thing came across my TikTok to where it's like, God doesn't want people to be self-isolated and stuff like that. And now that I do hang out with my friends more, I push myself to hang out more, plus because I'm on the pills and it's making me have energy so I can get out and do stuff and things again. And I'm hanging out with my homegirl Malibu. I be feeling good. Like, I go getting stuff. I have my socializing time. I try not to self-isolate. Even one time, baby, I took myself out to the movies. That wasn't much, but self-isolation, like they said, it's really excuse me. But like I said, now that I try to force myself to go out, it's not even forcing myself to go out. Like, every Friday I get with my boo and we go do something. Every Friday, whether it's just going to get food and come back to my room and we chill, or we actually go out to restaurants, or we go out to movies and stuff like that. And it doesn't even feel like I'm forcing myself no more. I'm so looking forward to do it. So I can say, at least for me, self-isolation it did not help, and it wasn't helping boo. So maybe if I was more social and got out, like, not in my younger years, because I'm only 25, but before I was like in my teens and my fresh 20s and stuff like that, I probably wouldn't be as bad off as I was. But yeah, so I feel like being social really does help. And if I was social when I was in my teens and in my early 20s, I probably wouldn't have been as bad off as I am. But we would never know, baby. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, okay? But that's all, folks. Thanks for listening to my mental health problems. Hopefully y'all can tell me y'all's what works for y'all. If you're in Dallas and you see a psychiatrist, boo, and she not for, or you know, a real psychiatrist that's over the phone, but she really, really good, let me know something.